Hi everyone, today we will be reading Act 4, Scenes 1 and 2 of Romeo and Juliet. And if you remember from where we left off reading last week at the end of Act 3, Romeo has been banished from Verona because he killed Juliet's cousin Tybalt, and he is waiting for Friar Lawrence to come up with a plan so that he will be allowed back. In the meantime, Lord Capulet has promised Paris that Juliet will marry him in 2 days on Thursday. And Juliet has said no, she will absolutely not marry Paris. And Lord Capulet has threatened to disown Juliet if she does not marry Paris on Thursday. So he is forcing his daughter to marry Paris on Thursday. So at the beginning of Act 4, we're at Friar Lawrence's cell, and he is speaking with Paris. So let's see what they say. Friar says, "You wish to marry this Thursday, sir? That is too soon." Paris, "Capulet wants it so, and I don't want to slow him down." Friar, "You say that you don't know what Juliet thinks about this? This is wrong. I don't like it." Paris, "She is still weeping over Tybalt's death, so I have talked little about love. Love does not smile in a house of tears. Her father thinks that it's dangerous that she is still mourning and has rushed our marriage to stop her tears. That's why we hurry." Friar Lawrence says to himself, "I wish I did not know why she cries. Look, sir, here comes Juliet." So before I move on, right here is a perfect example of dramatic irony, because Paris thinks that Juliet is still crying over Tybalt's death, but Friar Lawrence and we, the audience, know that she's really crying because of Romeo. So here comes Juliet. Paris, "I am happy to see you, my lady and my wife. Have you come to confess to the friar?" Juliet, "To answer you would be to confess to you." Paris, "Do not deny to him that you love me." Juliet, "I will confess to you that I love him." Paris, "So will you, I am sure, say that you love me." Juliet, "If I do, it would be worth more to say it behind your back than to your face." Paris, "Poor soul, your face has been abused by tears. That face is mine, and you have damaged it." Juliet, "That may be so, but it is not mine to give. Are you free now, Friar, or shall I come to you later tonight?" Friar, "I am free now, my daughter. Paris, Juliet and I must talk in private." Paris, "I would not dare to intrude. Juliet, on Thursday I will come for you early. Until then, farewell. I blow you a kiss." And Paris leaves. So before we move on, you can see how Paris speaks to Juliet. He already believes that Juliet is his wife, and he kind of says that she is almost like his property. He says that face is mine. And Juliet is kind of brushing him off, and she's kind of being sneaky and being kind of mean to him without him really knowing why she's being mean to him, or that she really is being mean to him. She kind of hints that she likes Friar Lawrence and she likes someone else, but Paris doesn't really understand what's going on. He keeps telling her, "Tell me that you love me. I know you love me," but Juliet does not love him at all. So Paris has just left, and now it's just Friar Lawrence and Juliet. So as soon as Paris leaves, Juliet, her whole tone changes, and she starts to kind of freak out. So she says, "Oh, shut the door, father. Come weep with me." Friar, Juliet, I already know your problem, and it troubles me more than I can bear. I hear that you must marry Paris on Thursday, and nothing can delay it." Juliet, "Do not tell me what you have heard unless you can tell me how to prevent it. If you cannot help me, I will kill myself. You joined mine and Romeo's hearts and hands together. If you join me to another, you will kill that union. As you have lived long and have much wisdom, please give me some advice now. If you cannot, a bloody knife will do. Speak. I long to die if you cannot offer me a remedy." Friar, "Hold on, daughter. I see a hopeful solution, though it is as desperate as yours. Since you have the courage to kill yourself, you will likely try something like death. So Juliet is begging Friar Lawrence for his help, and she says that if Friar Lawrence cannot help her, she will kill herself. And Friar Lawrence says, well, since you have enough courage to kill yourself, why don't I come up with a plan that is pretty crazy, but I think you'll try it. So let's see what Friar Lawrence's plan is. So he says, if you dare do that, I will give you the remedy. Juliet, I would rather leap off of a tower than marry Paris. I'd walk with thieves and lurk with snakes, chain me to a bear, lock me in a tomb, and cover me with bones. I would do all of these without fear, rather than stain my marriage to my sweet love. Friar, all right. Go home, be merry, and agree to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. That night, make sure you are alone in your chamber. When you are in bed, take this bottle and drink the medicine inside. A cold and drowsy feeling will run through your veins, and your heart will almost stop. No warmth from your body or breath will say that you are still alive. The rose color in your lips and cheeks will fade to pale ashes. Your eyes' windows will close like death when he shuts up the day of life. Your body will appear stiff, stark, and cold, as if you were dead. You will stay like this for 42 hours. Then you will awake, as if from a pleasant sleep. When Paris comes in the morning to wake you, you will appear dead. As it is customary in our country, they will dress you in your best robes and carry you to the ancient tomb where all Capulets lie. In the meantime, while you sleep, I will write to Romeo and tell him of our plan, and he will come here. He and I will be there when you wake up, and Romeo will take you to Mantua. This will free you from your problem, unless you are too afraid to do it. Juliet, give it to me. Do not tell me about fear. So Friar Lawrence hands her the bottle of potion. Friar, patience. Go home and be strong. I will send someone to Mantua with a letter for your husband. Juliet, love give me strength, and strength help me. Farewell, dear father. So that's the end of scene 1. So let's kind of go through and break down Friar Lawrence's plan first. So Friar Lawrence says, I have a crazy plan. It's very close to death, but Juliet is desperate at this point. So he knows that Juliet will do this plan. So part 1 is that she has to go home and she has to agree to marry Paris on Thursday. The night before the wedding, so Wednesday night, she's going to drink a bottle of potion or medicine that will make her look as if she's dead. So she will look dead, her heart will almost stop, she won't be breathing much, she's going to look cold, she's going to look very pale, and she will stay like this for 42 hours. In the meantime, while she's sleeping, Friar Lawrence is going to send a letter to Romeo in Mantua telling him about this plan, so that when Juliet wakes up in the tomb, Friar Lawrence and Romeo will be there to rescue her, and Romeo will take her away to Mantua, and that they will live happily ever after. So stop here and fill in the reading guide for scene 1. Okay, so now that we've figured out Friar Lawrence's plan for Juliet, let's see what is happening back at the Capulet house. So scene 2 takes place back at the Capulet's house with Lord Capulet, Lady Capulet, the nurse, and 2 servants. So Lord Capulet says, we have invited many guests. They are written here. So he gives a list of the guests to the servants. Sir, go and hire me 20 good cooks. Second servant, you will not have any bad ones, sir. I will only hire good ones, those that can lick their fingers. Capulet, how can you tell by that? Second servant, simple, sir. A bad cook will not lick his own fingers. Therefore, whoever cannot lick his fingers will not be hired. Capulet, go, be gone. We are unprepared for this wedding. Has my daughter gone to Friar Lawrence? Nurse, yes, sir. Capulet, hopefully he will do some good for her, that silly good-for-nothing girl. Nurse, Here she comes with a merry look. So Juliet enters. Capulet. Now, my stubborn child, where have you been? Juliet. I'm sorry for disobeying you. Friar Lawrence told me to fall before you and beg your pardon. She falls on her knees, begging for pardon. Pardon, I beg you. From now on, I will obey you. Capulet. Send for Paris and tell him this. They will marry tomorrow morning. So Juliet is following the plan, and she is pretending like she's going to marry Paris on Thursday. Unfortunately, her father is so happy that Juliet agrees to marry Paris that he now moves the wedding up to tomorrow, which is Wednesday. So that's another big problem. So Juliet says, I met him at Friar Lawrence's cell and gave him what love I could, without crossing the line of modesty. Capulet. I'm glad. Stand up. This is as it should be. Let me see Paris. Bring him here. Our city has much to thank that friar for. Juliet. Nurse, will you go with me to my room and help me sort the special clothes I need for tomorrow? So everybody exits except for Juliet's parents, and Lady Capulet says, Tomorrow we will be short of supplies. It's now near night. Capulet. Don't worry. All will be well, I promise you. Go to Juliet and help her prepare. I won't go to bed tonight. I'll play the housewife for once. Oh, all the servants are gone. Well, I'll go to Paris and prepare him for tomorrow. My heart is light. Our wayward girl has come back to us. So at the end of Act 4, Scene 2, the wedding is now taking place on Wednesday instead of Thursday. So Juliet's father moved the wedding up one night. So Juliet is now going to have to take the potion tonight instead of tomorrow night in order for this plan to work. So make